sweet friend, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over how I set goals with a chronic illness. So for those of you who might be new to this channel, I have two chronic illnesses, actually two congenital heart defects that I was born with and I've lived my whole life navigating. So I feel like I have a pretty good perspective on what it's like to set goals, and also for goals to be sometimes difficult to achieve because of your chronic illness. So I get that side, but I'm also on the Enneagram, I'm a 2, I'm an achiever. And so I tend to ride myself and push myself really hard, which can be a positive and a negative. We'll probably talk about that in other videos. But I feel like I have a very good scope of how to really set yourself up for success from the get-go. So I think it's get-go, not get-go. Anyways, my first tip for setting goals with chronic illness is 1, consistency but grace. I think so often we are surrounded in this hustle culture that's just preaching consistency, which is great. Consistency does produce results, but grace is a thing that we have to remember when we have a chronic illness. And I think starting out with that mindset of I'm going to be as consistent as I can, but there is grace when I fall down. And guys, there are so many times I fall down. I recently had an event where it kind of knocked me on my butt, and I had to reevaluate goals. I had to reevaluate things and just keep moving forward. And that's going to happen. So we first have to start with that consistency but grace mindset. The second tip I have for goals is kind of the classic tip you hear from everybody. Write them down. I personally use a best self planner, and I'm going to go into more detail about my best self planner in another video, but that's what I use to write my goals down. And I do that quarterly, annually. Honestly, I do it every single day to a certain extent, because every day you should have priorities and goals, which we'll go over in the best self video. But writing them down just has that brain-hand connection so that you're really putting it down on paper. I don't want to use the word manifest, but yeah, you're manifesting it onto the page. You're kind of calling that forth and you're believing that, really. When I think of manifesting, I don't think of, manifesting. I think of you're believing that for yourself, and that is so powerful to have belief in yourself. So that's why my second tip is write it down. My third tip is share them. Share your goals with a friend, with someone that you feel comfortable with. I think not only when you write it down are you believing it for yourself, but you can get other people on board as your teammates that can look at you and say, yes, I see that in you, and let me know what I can do to help. You need that victory tribe around you. And so that's my third tip, is make sure you're sharing them. I know at times I've been scared to share goals and dreams with people because I'm scared they're either 1, going to steal it, or 2, they're going to laugh at me. So I've been there, and I know it's not an easy feat, but maybe get out of your comfort zone a little bit and start sharing those goals with the people around you. My fourth tip is define the why behind your goals and who you're going to become by achieving it. So I like to break my goals down by really understanding, why is this a goal of mine? Okay, I have a financial goal to buy a house. Why? I have a goal to run a marathon. Okay, so who am I going to become through that? So you are not just setting these big goals because somebody told us we should have financial goals or we should have personal fitness goals. We're writing it because it truly has meaning to us. And that's why we define the why and the who you're going to become through that process. So you can look back and you can see that journey of who you've become. And you can, when times get really tough, you can look back on the why and the why you're doing things. So that's why I like to define my goals. Once I set a goal, I then define why I want to achieve it and who I'm going to become through the process of getting there. So then my next tip is reflect on what obstacles might come in your way. So I like to do this up front because it's basically calling out that it's not going to be easy. And there's going to be days you fall down. You're acknowledging that right from the start, which is so important. And so by doing this, you're identifying it, you're locking in on it, and you're saying, okay, maybe this is going to be a challenge. My medication might be a challenge to this. My, doctor's visits that I'm having to go to every week, every month are going to make this difficult. You're really acknowledging it. But then in this step, you are then creating a little bit of a mini game plan of, when this happens, how am I going to respond? So in the heat of the moment, we're not great at responding a lot of the time. So by doing this beforehand, you are laying out your game plan of what you are going to do when that obstacle comes in your way. So when you're all frantic or you're not feeling great, you can come back to this game plan and see, okay, I told myself this is my step that I know will help me get over this. Maybe I just need to have a down day where I'm in bed, I'm not reading, or maybe I'm reading, or maybe I'm watching a show, or I need this or that. So you're really identifying that for yourself right from the start. And you will be so surprised at how much quicker and faster you get back up from times when you get knocked down than prior, because you've done this work ahead of time. And then my last and final tip is celebrate. Celebrate your goals, big, small. Celebrate milestones in those goal journeys. Maybe you have big, lofty goals that are going to take a couple years. That's okay. That's awesome. But celebrate the wins in between. That could be going out for ice cream. That could be buying a new pair of shoes, after you've finished a goal with your running. Maybe that's, going out for a cup of coffee with a friend as a way to celebrate something you enjoy. It's specific to you. So make sure to write down, how are you going to celebrate different milestones in your goals, and also when you do the dang thing and you conquer that goal. So those are my top 6 steps or 6 tips for how I set my goals and what have helped me be successful in truly achieving some big goals and dreams in my life. And I hope you found that helpful. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And I will see you in their next video.